Hello students. Yesterday we have seen the case of hydrogen spectrum, and in the case of atoms we are just discussing the important topics here for your board examinations. So one by one we are just discussing it and try to understand the conceptual and basic factors here. And the topics that we first discussed, that is atomic model. After that we have discussed the hydrogen level spectrum, and actually in that section I have just wanted to cover all the things, but mathematical part I have just neglected. That region is there. We have just proved and derived all the mathematical expressions, and even we have solved the questions on that. So that's why here I'm just not going to take that again, but still only the basic and fundamental conceptual factors we will study here for the revisions, and other factors like numericals, and try to practice that in every classes, and every day just try to practice it. After that you will be able to solve it easily. So first of all, if you are just aware with the concepts, and you are able to understand all basic things, all small topics that are needed to understand that particular topic or field, then you will be able to solve numericals also, guys. So I think the concept of hydrogen that we have discussed, that is clear to you. What is the hydrogen spectrum, how the spectrum is formed, what types of spectrums we have, and if we have to calculate the two extreme limits for the different spectrums, like in case of Lyman, Balmer, Paschen, bracket Pond, anyone. In case of anyone, if we just have to calculate what is the minimum and maximum frequency, or what is minimum maximum wavelength, then how can we calculate it? And even with the help of that calculation, in which range it is lying, like in the range of ultraviolet visible, in which range it is lying, we can easily tell that. Means even we can explain the spectrum of hydrogen with the help of Bohr model, and also the mathematical expressions that we have done here, and even we can calculate and we can understand in which region it is lying and why it is lying in that region. Clear? So here today let's start the spectrum of X-rays. So as you know that X-ray is an electromagnetic wave, and here we are just going to talk about the spectrum of the electromagnetic wave. You have already studied the spectrum of white light. White light is also an electromagnetic wave. We have already studied that. The rainbow system for the visible light, we have seen that the spectrum of the visible light. And also there you can see that it is arranged in the order of frequency or wavelength, and with the help of that order we can easily say that this color has lowest frequency, this color has highest frequency, or lowest wavelength, highest wavelength. Means a range we can define it for it easily. So these types of spectrums can also be obtained in the case of X-rays here. As why actually X-ray is very important for us. The most important application of X-ray is to study the crystals. A new field is that is known as crystallography, that you will study in chemistry also here. So in the crystallography, as we try to see the phenomena that is possessing by the crystals, like you know that solids are of two types, amorphous solid, crystalline solids, and crystalline solids has a different property than the amorphous solids. Like in the crystalline solids, all the molecules that are arranged in the periodic way, means a periodic array of them is obtained when we are just seeing the case of crystals, and due to that a special property they have, they are just possessing different types of structures that you can understand by Bravais lattice and other factors, symmetry property, you can understand that. So for the study of the crystal, it has seen that crystals are also showing diffraction phenomena. So actually in case of diffraction, we know that the order of the slit, it means here crystals are showing diffraction phenomena, it means that crystals are arranged obviously in which molecules are arranged in the periodic way. Clear? Then spacing between these two molecules are constant, and in that case, if a light is just coming from here and it is diffracted from here, so you can say that these are two slits, just like two slits as we have studied in case of diffraction. So if these are two slits, then this will be the width of the slit or difference the between the slit. Then for the diffraction, it is necessary that the light we are using to study the diffraction phenomena by these atoms or by the slits, the spacing between the slit must be comparable to the wavelength of the light that we are using here. So as the spacing between two atoms that is very small, and there is no the visible light and other light we were using, that was not applicable to it for the comparative property of the wavelength. And if we have seen that when we take the X-rays to fall on it, then the diffraction through the atoms that is obtained here. So a reason is that the wavelength of X-ray that is comparable to the spacing between these two atoms. So this is very necessary condition actually for the production of the diffraction or for observation of diffraction. So we can easily explain and understand diffraction phenomena that is possessed by the crystals, that is by the atoms through which it is made up of, or molecules through which it is made up of. So as the spacing between atoms and molecules that is lying or that is comparable to the wavelength of X-ray. So X-rays are actually used for the study of crystals, and why crystals are whenever we are trying to understand its shape and other factors, we can understand easily it by X-rays. So I think first of all, if it is showing different phenomena, we need to know its spectroscopy also. And also there are other many importance of X-ray you already know in the field of communication field, in medical field. There are huge application of X-rays, but the most important application that is to study the crystals, and even we are using LCDs and other things that is possible after the study of the crystals, and that is done by the X-rays. And also in the reverse way, you can say that if you want to know something about the X-ray, then which phenomena X-rays is possessing, like suppose that we are just trying to know whether the X-ray is producing diffraction phenomena or not. So for that, obviously we have to take the slit of the order of spacing, that should be order of the wavelength. So here for that case, crystals can serve as the better way other than the making two slits that types of closer to each other. So for that, crystals even plays an important role for the study of X-rays also, or the phenomena that is possessing by the X-rays, we can observe it with the help of crystals. So both things are equally important for the study of each other here. So I think the basic things behind the X-rays, that is clear. Even production of X-ray, you have studied that for the production of X-ray, it is needed a high voltage that is applied, and means high energetic electrons when they are bombarded to any target. After that, X-rays are producing there, and we will see that in the case of spectrum how they are producing. The production of X-ray, we will see that also with the help of high energetic electrons we can produce X-rays easily, and X-rays can produce in two ways, and first is continuous X-ray, second is characteristics X-ray. So both can be produced here. We have just studied that, then again let's study what is the characteristic X-ray, what is the continuous X-ray. So first of all, to produce X-ray we need a high voltage supply, and obviously we need high voltage supply to accelerate the electrons. Here the primary condition that is needed, the electrons that are targeting the atom, that should be highly accelerated, that should have high velocity. After that, if they will just collide with the atoms or electrons that are in the atoms, then with the help of the collision, two types in the two ways X-rays are producing. So let's see them one by one. So the first type, that is continuous X-ray. So in case of continuous X-ray, when electrons collide with the atoms or with electrons that are revolving in the atom, then obviously that electron that is colliding is high energetic due to application of high voltage supply, and due to high acceleration, if they collide to the electrons or atoms, it is possible, and even after collision obviously its direction is some way at some time actually its direction changes, and due to change in direction and due to collision it loses its uh, energy, and that energy is radiated in form of electromagnetic wave. So that form of electromagnetic wave, that is the X-ray. So first type of X-rays that is producing, that is due to loss in energy of the highly energetic electrons that are produced by the cathode, and also accelerated at high potential. If their energy get lost by some process, by collisions with the atoms or electrons, then at that time X-ray is producing, and continuous collision can be possible here, continuous loss in energy can be possible. Then obviously a continuous X-ray, continuous radiation is obtained from the atoms and metals, and that type of rays, X-rays are known as continuous X-ray. So simple, first X-rays are producing by the highly energetic accelerated electrons, and due to their collision, if their velocity is retarded by collision, then that retardation in velocity that is appeared in form of radiation or energy, means they if obviously velocity is retarded, it means that the energy will be lost somewhere, and that energy loss is appeared in form of electromagnetic wave. That electromagnetic wave is known as X-rays. So simple, X-rays are thing, but these are the energy radiated by by the loss of the energy in the highly energetic electrons, and with the help of that electrons, this is known as actually secondary emissions. So with the help of that secondary emission, X-rays can be produced, and continuous X-ray, this process can be continued even the reason is that there are a number of electrons that are accelerating, and number of electrons and atoms also in the system. Then obviously if continuous collision takes place, then continuous loss of in energy will take place, and continuous radiation that can be obtained here. So a continuous X-rays of all possible frequency and all possible wavelength that will be obtained here. So that is known as I have just told you, continuous spectrum. So in case of continuous spectrum, we obtain the wavelength and energy of all possible values here, and also here all possible values can be obtained as here retardation process takes place. So that depends on the area on which it is colliding, the at which angle it is colliding, many factors it is depends on. So due to dependency, you can say that also we have observed practically that the energy loss that is taking place here, that has all possible wavelength and frequency. So that's why you can say that a continuous spectrum that is obtained here, and that type of spectrum is known as continuous X-ray spectrum. So first type of spectrum of X-ray, that is continuous spectrum, that is obtained by the continuous collision of the highly energetic electrons to the atoms or molecules or electrons of the system. The second type of X-rays that is obtained, that is characteristic X-ray. Characteristic X-ray. So in case of characteristic X-ray, actually by name it is clear that here certain frequency or certain wavelength, certain characteristic that will be obtained in this case. So actually during collision, two things are possible. As you know that if collision is elastic, then in that case the particle can transfer whole of its energy to any electron after collision. So sometimes the highly energetic electrons that is colliding with the electrons, that transfer whole of its energy to that electron, and if the core electron that is getting high amount of energy, then obviously it will try to leave the surface, leave the boundary of the atom, and due to that an electron is knocked out from the system. So suppose that this is nucleus, and after around it we have circular orbit, and electrons are revolving here, in this orbit. So obviously if suppose that any high energetic electron that is coming here and that is colliding with these electrons, and due to collision suppose it transfers whole of its energy to this electron, and obviously due to transfer of whole of its energy, this is already highly energetic, so this electron will knock out from here, means the highly energetic electron, if it will knock out this electron, then obviously a vacancy will be created in this core orbit. So as you know that for the stability of the atom, it is necessary that it is compulsory that this core orbit should be fulfilled. This should not be empty, this should not be vacant. So the higher orbit electron that are revolving around the nucleus, that will have tendency to fill up this vacancy. So for that region, they makes transition from higher to lower energy stage to fill up this vacancy. So this can be transfer of electrons from here to here, transfer of electrons can be from here to here, and other orbits electron can transfer here. So according to that, you know that if whenever an electron that is making transition from higher to lower energy state, then in that case energy radiation that takes place from here, and also and that is equal to the difference between these two energy levels. So in these two cases, as we are seeing that the particles or electrons that are trying to fill up this vacancy that is created by the high energetic electrons, and due to that the electromagnetic radiation that is emitted from here, so in that case that electromagnetic radiation is obtained, that is X-rays, and even you can see that here the frequency or wavelength of that electromagnetic wave that is discrete and precise. The reason is that only the difference between energies that can be obtained in the radiation, and if you solve it, a discrete frequency or wavelength you can obtain from it. So it means that a discrete or particular values of frequency and wavelength we are obtaining, and that is known as, if you arrange that in the order of increasing order of frequency or decreasing order of frequency, whatever you want to do, or wavelength, then in that case it is known as characteristic X-ray. So in case of characteristics X-ray, the electrons are just high energetic electrons that knock out any electron from its core orbit, and to fill up that vacancy, the electrons from higher orbit that makes transition to the lower orbit, and due to their transition to the lower orbit to fill up that vacancy, an electromagnetic radiation is radiated out from there, and that radiation has the certain discrete frequency and wavelength, so that's why they are known as characteristic X-rays. Clear? So these two types of X-rays spectrum we have, that is continuous spectrum and characteristic spectrum. So in case of continuous spectrum, due to collision, electrons are not knocked out from these atoms, but only they retard the motion of the high energetic electron. Due to that, electromagnetic radiation takes place. And in case of characteristics X-ray, the electron makes knockout of an electron, and due to that we get characteristics X-ray in the system. So the next case that we have to study, that is the case of characteristics X-ray. Actually, suppose that we want to just assemble it, or we want to plot a diagram for energy level diagram for the X-rays, then in that case what will be the energy level diagram for the characteristics X-ray? Actually, for continuous spectrum, X-ray spectrum, as it the continuous wavelength and frequency we are obtaining, so there is no need to draw the characteristics X-ray energy level for that spectrum. But for the characteristics X-ray spectrum, we can draw it just like the hydrogen spectrum. As in case of hydrogen, we have seen that whenever electron is making transition from n equal to 2 level, 3 level to 1 level or other levels, then a series of frequency and wavelength that we were getting, and that are known as hydrogen spectrum. So here also characteristics spectrum can be obtained in many ways. So let's see them one by one. So as in the electronic configuration, you can say that we have already subcells k element subcells, and suppose that during its motion, this is suppose P subcell, this is L subcell, M subcell, this is N subcell, and so on. Okay. So obviously in these subcells electrons are revolving around the nucleus, and due to high energetic electrons, an electron from K subcell that is knocked out first of all. So if this electron is knocked out, then a vacancy is created in K cell, and you know that whenever K cell is empty, we cannot fill up electrons in L cell. So obviously that electron will have tendency to fill up this vacancy first. To fill up this vacancy, it makes transition from this L subcell to K subcell. So if it will make transition to fill up this vacancy. Obviously M electron will have also tendency to fill up this vacancy, so it can also make transition from here to here. Similarly N electrons can make transition from here to here. So in this way we can see that different amount of energy, different frequency and wavelength that is emitting here due to transition of electrons to fill up this vacancy from the K subcell. Then again a series of lines that we are obtaining. Lines, why I am saying? Because here the frequency and wavelength that is due to their transition, that is the constant, that is discrete, and if you arrange them, then it will give you some line type structure. So this, due to that we are just saying lines. So if you see this series of lines, then that type of series is known as K series in the case of hydrogen X-ray spectrum. Why we are saying is K series, as they are making transition to K subcell. So that's why we have just gave this name K series. And also you can give the name to these lines also, K alpha, K beta, K gamma, whatever you want. You can give it name to understand the concept in the better way. But still these are known as K series. This is just like the hydrogen spectrum. If you remind something, if electrons are making transition from higher to n equal to 1 level, then we get here Lyman series. So just like that, if electrons are making transition from these higher subcells to this K subcell, then we are getting K series. In the similar manner, if suppose that electron that are highly energetic that collide with the electron of in the L cell and make the means knock out these electrons, then due to vacancy that is created due to removal of electron by the highly energetic electrons that is colliding to it, then obviously if here the removal takes place and also in a higher orbits there are electrons, then obviously in these higher orbit electrons will have tendency to fill up this vacancy to make the or increase the stability of the atom. So for that they make transition from higher to lower energy state, and finally a series that is obtained that is known as L series. Means obviously a lines of different frequencies that can be obtained, that will be equal to the difference of energy. You can solve it easily and you can calculate what will be the frequency and wavelength. So these lines are known as L series. Similarly, in case of suppose if a vacancy is created in M subcell, so similar transition can take place higher to this state. These are known as M series. Similar way, if vacancy is created in N subcell, then obviously here N series that can be obtained. So in the same way, means continuous if knockout of electron takes place from any of the orbit in which electron is revolving, that can be, it is not necessary that electron can make knockout it's only from the K subcell. They can remove from L, M, and also that depends on the collision of the electron, highly energetic electron with the orbital electron. So if that collision is elastic, then in that case it will transfer all of its energy and means it will provide a sufficient energy to escape that atom. So in that case the vacancy is created in subcells, and due to that vacancy creation, these series are obtained, and these series are known as characteristics spectrum of the X-ray. So the characteristic spectrum is K series, L series, M series, N series, and so on. Such types of series are obtained in the case of X-ray spectrum. When I think the concept of X-ray spectrum, how the X-rays are producing, that is clear to you. I just told you while explaining spectrum, I will tell you also how to produce X-rays. I think the two ways we have discussed here for the production of X-ray. First is continuous X-ray production, and second is characteristics X-ray production. That both is clear to you. In the continuous spectrum, only retardation of the velocity of highly energetic electron, that is taking place, and due to their loss in energy, it appears in the form of electromagnetic wave. That is X-ray spectrum, and that has all possible wavelength and frequency. That's why it is known as continuous X-ray. And in the second case, if that electron makes removal of an electron from the subcell, then in that case characteristic X-ray takes place in this way. So I think both of the rays, X-rays that are producing, that is clear. Also here we can see that these are here the emission of electrons, radiation takes place. So in other way you can say that this is the emission spectra of X-rays. So if you can see also the absorption spectra of X-rays also, but here we have to study about the emission spectra of X-ray. So I think the spectrum that we have discussed, that is all clear to you. How can we understand continuous spectra? How can we understand characteristics spectra of the X-rays? So in the case of X-rays, the emission spectra we have seen. In the same manner, you can understand the spectra of different atoms that are possessing. Suppose we are talking about the first group elements, hydrogen. I am just talking hydrogen spectrum we have already discussed, and also other first group elements that are alkali metals. In the case of alkali metals, as also there is also one electron in the outer subcell, and as these are identical as the one electron is in the outer subcell also there in the case of hydrogen. So if that one electrons is making transition, or that is going in any of the higher orbit due to addition of energy, then what can be the possible way of transitions that can take place in the case of atoms? Like if you can take the example of sodium, then in that case 3s1 is the outer orbit of the sodium. Then in the case of that electron is, suppose that it is going in any of the excited state like 3p, 4s, 4p and other orbits, and after that you know that in 10 power minus 8 second after that time it will again comes to its initial condition in stable position in stable orbit, that is 3s1. It will make transition, and definitely the excess of energy, it will be radiated in form of electromagnetic radiation. So if you arrange that electromagnetic radiation in the terms of frequency and wavelength, that is known as the spectrum of the alkali atoms. And in the case of alkali atom, SPDF cells we are using, just like X-rays we are using here K11, or in that case X-rays for the alkali metals, SPDF subcells we are using. And if the transition is making from P subcell to S, P2S, then principal series is obtained. When transition is taking from S to P, then sharp series are obtained. If it is making from D to P, then diffuse series is obtained. And if making from F to D and other, then fundamental series are obtained. In the case of fundamental series, actually the frequency and the way lie, that is exactly same way as for the hydrogen we have obtained. So the particular spectrum that is also obtained for the atoms, for the alkali atoms, for the alkaline atoms, you can understand that. But here at least you have to understand the hydrogen level spectrum and the region behind the spectrum that we are getting, and also for the X-ray spectrum that we are getting here. And also you can solve a number of conceptual problems related to these two topics, like how the X-ray spectrum are producing, you know, have to know that how the characteristics X-ray you are getting, and how are you getting this continuous X-ray. So if all these topics that we have discussed, I think that is clear to you. So if all these are clear, then let's end the class here. Also, we have also discussed the chapter atoms also. So in next class we will discuss the chapter nuclei and their its important topics we will discuss. So let's end the class here today. Thank you.